Okay, world of YouTube, out here with another video of a cemetery that's supposedly in Lancaster, Mass. Now, here we have the burial ground, and it's called the Old Settlers Burying Ground. Now, this is a very bizarre situation with this case, due to the fact that it says it's in a location that has a group of houses. Now, if you go on Google Maps and type in Old Settlers Burying Ground, as you can see up here in Lancaster, where is it? Damn it. Oh, there it is. Lancaster's. And of course, it brings you to this secluded place. It's literally off the side of the road, off of Route 117. Literally in a area that has like at least 5 or 6 houses, literally houses, where they claim it's sets. Now, there is a cemetery just down the road from the area, and I gotta go in there and maybe see if I can see if any of this matches up with it, but pretty bizarre when you find out a cemetery and insane has probably been moved or rebuilt over. And I mean, it wasn't uncommon back then for that to happen, just like the old common cemetery in Marlborough, which I figured out what the stones looked like again, and like I said, there is a flat stone on the ground that I kept looking for. I mean, the search is still on for that. I forgot to take a screenshot of that, but and then there is 2 standing stones, I guess, that are there that have the names of the praying Indians there, but what catches my attention on this cemetery is the intro to the cemetery of an even older National Way burial ground, according to Robert Lindstone, which that is him in the picture there. And Nashua River actually takes its name. I don't see, this is what I don't get. They go to a cemetery and they're going and then looking into all this stuff, and then they go into the Nashua River and what Nashua means. But I got a good reason to believe that this cemetery that he is on, I have a good damn reason to believe that it was once an Indian burial ground. Now, if they happen to had moved it to build them houses is the question. And if that would not surprise me, due to the fact that a lot of the reading lately and stuff I've been looking up on, white man did not care about destroying Indian burial grounds. And a buddy of mine, Harry Woods is his name, he has Odd History on Facebook, and he has numerous pictures of a mound of an area of woods that are behind his house, and he literally does the same thing I do of going and exploring, and he literally found a map off the shore of the Atlantic Ocean, mind you, Indians used to live by, and on this map it shows today houses over the land that once buried Indian, bodies. And it's about a wonder why the movie Poltergeist was made. And it was due to they built the housing complex, which, whether the story was true or not, fiction, non-fiction, but the concept of the movie was true. And more I've been learning, and the more and more I've been searching, I have too been finding that cemeteries or even, houses were built over Indian burial grounds. But I wonder why things get real haunted in houses a lot too, especially in Lancaster, Mass. Well, that was the beginning of the King Philip War. Huge part of it leading into Harvard, and Harvard was once Lancaster, and so wasn't Bolton. So a lot of Indian tribes lived upon this land, and you know what? They lived everywhere so far since what I've been coming up with my own search and research. Especially here in Fitchburg, where I have found that now the hill I have always felt a vibe being cursed up in the Burbank Hospital area. Come to find out today, too, an article, of course, many articles I read of the Bridgewater Triangle. Now, back when I first started looking this up, and when I had the internet and everything, and I could, and when I was first searching into all this back in 2013, 2014, whatever, go figure, the article said back then, and like I said back then, I wasn't even thinking of taking screenshots of this information, which nowadays I try and keep everything up and focused on screenshotting something very important. But they said also that the Bridgewater Triangle, that Native Americans claim that they don't go into these woods. They don't like them woods, and they tell people don't go there. Well, you want to know why? And I don't know why or who wrote these articles, but what I've been saying, and like I said, at Burbank Hospital area, and now that I know that Indian dwellings used to be there, and they have their own Indian burial grounds, and because it is near the location of John Fitch, right in the vicinity of John Fitch, very close to where that man used to live. And I have videos up of that too, of the John Fitch mines, and I bring you out to a farm on Pearl Hill Road that I believe is where he resided, which is not too far from the Burbank Hills, and I believe, of course, them Indians cursed that hill. That's why I've always got them vibes of something being dark and mystic up in there. That's why that hill I am considering cursed. I will go on beyond the books of history and consider that hill cursed. And that's another part of my Wachusett Valley Triangle that I created myself, is part of in this section, and stuff like this, finding out that there could be houses over this cemetery that once, and I'm surprised that if it is in this area or if it's down the street where that other cemetery is. Like I said, I'm going to search. I have to bring the picture to see if I can find the similar image in this trees or wherever this may have been taken, because it doesn't even say it's near the road, or it's, all they go about talking about is the Indians and how they traveled. I'm looking at now and how they lived in wigwams, and here we have the June 15th, 1675, the famous Indian chief Metacom led area tribes, white invaders, National Way chiefs, and the Nipmuc allies supplied all the warriors. I don't got the whole article in front of me, but it goes on to say about that and this and that, but don't give the direct directions. And that's what I hate about these damn friggin' articles. Sometimes people come up and, they come out and say things, but they don't give the exact location. And that's why I do these videos, to try and find these exact locations and pay my respect also to Native Americans, because, they were here first and stuff like this being moved. And if it has to be known, I want it to be known. I think it should be known, because it's happening today. The same stuff. We, the Americans, are getting overridden by immigrants, illegal immigrants, refugees, And they come here and they tell us that they do not like our religion and they do not like doing our codes of conduct. So, just like the Indians, they're taking over. And one day, I think we will be overrided by all this because, just let them on in. Don't clean up and take care of their country so they can stay there and live in a better manner. Just bring them over here and overrule us. Take over what we own. Exactly what happened to the Indians. But other than that, unbelievable. This is why I do these videos, because I want to find this stuff. I want to put this out there. I want it to be known. It's sick. But like I said, I gotta get out there, and the visual on the Google's map, when you type in, like I said, old settlers burying ground, right off one says 17 and a freaking patch of houses. And then it says right on top of them houses, old, settlers, cemetery, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the hell? But it's not surprising. It's like I said, stuff being moved, stuff being built over. People back then didn't care. Didn't realize that they're going to disturb stuff. Just like the reservoirs that are built throughout these lands, all towns taken away. And that's just as bad as the Indians, poor white folks. I mean, even they got a taste of karma in their life, obviously, huh? Take over what once was, have it taken over again, and now getting taken over by another country like England and, everybody did to the Indians back then. It all runs in a circle. How insane is that? But searching for this cemetery, as soon as I find it, I'm going to be taking a walk and a stroll, paying my respects, getting it on the map of history that should never be forgotten. And that is the Native Americans. So until that next video, YouTube Nation, be safe, take care. Got many more videos to come. Till I'm friggin' dead. Haha. Alright. Be safe. Out.